He's sued corporate polluters, lobbied elected officials, run for political office himself. He didn't mention it on this sheet, but he ran for president in 2004 for the Green Party, and has been arrested for nonviolent civil disobedience. Okay? He tells me that he runs on his arrest record. That's distinctive in El Paso. There you go. Tonight he is here as a spokesperson for Move to Amend, a coalition calling to abolish the legal doctrine that says a corporation is a person with constitutional rights. Please help me welcome David Cobb.
Hey, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And by the way, I should say that this event is sponsored by the UTEP Department of Sociology and Anthropology, but it's actually really being organized, and all the effort to get it to happen came from Occupy El Paso.
All right, so thank you again. Thank you, Joe, and thank you for being here. As Joe said, my name is David Cobb. I like to begin these presentations by saying that I consider myself a proud, a patriotic, and these days I consider myself a pissed off American citizen. Oh, good. Good. I'm very happy to get that sort of reaction from that first statement, because I'll also tell you I will also identify as a political progressive. And as a political progressive, I think we have made a mistake by allowing the Tea Party to claim some sort of monopoly on political anger. Because if you talk to a Tea Party adherent or a Tea Party supporter and just engage them in conversation, and I've done this, what you will find, or what I have found almost universally, is that what's really getting them angry is the fact that Wall Street America and the big banksters basically destroyed the economy, leading to a huge bailout. But what really makes them mad is that about $1 trillion of U.S. tax money was then sent to Wall Street as some sort of reward. Well, you know what? I'm angry about that too, aren't you? Yes. Right, and we make a mistake if we allow the Tea Party to be the only place where that kind of political anger is expressed. But I will also go deeper and tell you this. I'm also angry that 1 in 6 American families are living below the poverty level in the United States today. And I don't hear that anger expressed at Tea Party rallies. I'm angry at the fact that 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 children are either hungry or undernourished in the richest country the world has ever seen, and I don't hear that anger expressed at Tea Party rallies. And I'm angry about the fact that the huge transnational corporations are basically destroying the planet that we depend upon for life itself, and causing a runaway global climate crisis, and creating a racist, sexist, and class-oppressive world order with the plunder. And I damn sure don't hear that anger expressed at Tea Party rallies. And I'll tell you something, folks, the anger I'm describing, the anger that so many of you clearly, obviously share with me, the anger that is basically shared by most Americans over the things that we've just discussed, that anger, my friends, is a righteous anger. And I use that word very carefully. I'm the grandson of a Baptist preacher. I know what the word righteous means, and let me tell you something. Righteous anger is a unique type of anger. See, if you get mad because you didn't get your way, that ain't righteous. Righteous anger can only be provoked at anger at injustice, oppression, exploitation. Righteous anger is unique that way. But it's even deeper than that, folks, because if you get mad at injustice, oppression, exploitation, but all you ever do is stew in your anger and wallow in it, that's not righteous either. You see, righteous anger requires action. That's actually part of the component. So a righteous anger, a moral, ethical anger, actually requires that you be angry at exploitation, oppression, injustice, and that you're willing to act on it to correct it. And saying it that way, can we acknowledge that it was righteous anger that fueled the abolitionist movement in this country? People were angry about a depraved institution like slavery. It was righteous anger that brought those women together at Seneca Falls, New York, to begin the process of a women's empowerment movement. They were angry about an oppressive patriarchal system that they were living in. It was righteous anger that fueled the civil rights movement. Righteous anger fueled the trade union movement. Righteous anger is a good thing. And I'll go further and tell you I am also a sad American, because I can remember a time in my life when I could describe myself as a proud and patriotic American with no other qualifiers. And for me personally, that's when I was a little boy. When I was taught that I was from the United States of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. But more importantly, I was taught that the United States of America stood for liberty and justice and equality. And I was so proud to be from that country. And not only that, I was taught that my country, the United States of America, was like some great shining light on the hill. And that my country was going to guarantee liberty and justice and equality to everyone on the planet. I was so proud of that. I was so proud to be an American. And I'm pissed off today because I grew up and realized I had been lied to. I'm sorry, but this is sincere for me. I mean, I can remember what it was like to be proud to be an American. And now, today, I'm ashamed of it. But you know what? That's a harsh word, lied to. So instead, let's say I grew up and I realized that I had been subjected to a creation myth. It's a different way to say it. Because, you know, I have a face, I have a voice, I have a name for who I kind of associate that creation myth with. And that name is Mrs. Armstrong. She was my 5th grade teacher. Are there any current, former, or future public school teachers in this crowd? Raise your hand. There always are. Can we now get a round of applause for our public school teachers? Folks, I always ask for that round of applause for public school teachers for 2 very important reasons. Number 1, I don't think that we publicly thank public teachers in this country often enough. We damn sure don't pay you enough money. But the second reason I ask for a round of applause is in honor of Mrs. Armstrong. You see, Mrs. Armstrong did not go to bed at night saying, "Wah! I can't wait till these little children come into my classroom so I can fill their mind full of lies and propaganda about this country." No. Mrs. Armstrong was a public school teacher, and like every public school teacher I have ever met, she became a public teacher because she wanted to nurture children to become productive members of society. You see, for Mrs. Armstrong, being a public teacher was a noble calling. It was not just something you did for money. It was something that she did because she felt obliged, she felt compelled, she thought that she was doing something wonderful. You see, Mrs. Armstrong taught that creation myth to me because she believed it. And that creation myth worked so well on me, and frankly it worked on my classmates, and as I'm seeing how so many of you in this crowd are reacting to me, see, it works on us because we want to believe it. I want to be clear about this, folks. We want to live in liberty, justice, and equality. I'll go you one better. We deserve it. I would say it's our birthright. And, may I say with respect, that we want liberty, justice, and equality not because we are Americans. We want liberty, justice, and equality because we're human beings. And you bet American children want to deserve liberty, justice, and equality. And so do Iraqi children, and Afghan children, and Israeli children, and Palestinian children, and Senegalese children. See, the point I'm making is that that creation myth around America, the principles and values that were used to the creation myth around this country is used because these are human values. And I submit to you that we are capable of actually bringing into birth a completely new society, one that has new social, political, economic, and legal institutions that would actually reflect those values. Now, that's a big task, but it's actually possible. And if you don't think it's possible, take a look at what's going on in North Africa. Take a look at what's going on in the Middle East. Take a look about what's going on in Latin America, where you see vibrant social movements that actually take themselves seriously, so seriously, in fact, that they're creating new institutions as well as engaging in the electoral process at the same time. They haven't divorced the two. In fact, they do both together, both social movements and electoral politics, and when they do that, something phenomenal happens. And we can do it in this country too. We can literally begin to think of ourselves as a nonviolent revolutionary movement that actually takes ourselves seriously. That we actually believe that the crisis is as serious as we talk about. that we actually believe that we are in a series of crises, an economic crisis, an ecological crisis, a social justice crisis. We can actually say that because we are right. Those crises exist and they are coming upon us. But I want to remind you that the symbol for crisis in the Chinese language, there is also the symbol for another word. Louder. Opportunity. When you are in a crisis moment, it provides opportunities that normal moments in history and time don't provide. I believe that we are, to borrow another Chinese curse at this point, the Chinese have a famous humorous curse that says, "May you live in interesting times." We are cursed and or blessed to be living in very interesting times today. And I genuinely believe that we have an opportunity to actually be transformational, to actually bring into existence a completely new world order that's based on love and compassion and justice and fairness and ecological sustainability. And I want to be the first one to admit that I believe that those things are possible. Not just like I hope for it, I believe that we can actually do it. But to do that, let's just acknowledge we're going to have to learn to be a hell of a lot more persuasive than we have been in recent memory as a movement. Am I right about this one? Right? We got to be persuasive. And so, since we know we need to learn to be a little more persuasive, I'm going to share with you something that I knew intuitively as a trial lawyer when I practiced for about 15 years, but now scientists are proving beyond a shadow of a doubt. And that is, objectively, scientifically, if you want to be persuasive, facts don't matter so much. Man, y'all, the first time I heard that, I thought, oh no! See, I've invested a lot of time and energy in learning facts, and you know, most of us think that if you just learn facts and learn to just present them logically and cogently, that you'll be able to persuade other people. But what cognitive scientists are proving is, and I'll admit something, folks, facts do matter. I use that last line as sort of a joke, and many of you chuckled about it, but here's the thing. We do not understand the world through discrete facts that are presented to us. We understand the world through the stories that we tell each other. And the stories that we hear over and over again make up the cultural story. And it becomes a cultural ideology or a cultural story, a narrative that we hear. See, Mrs. Armstrong, for example, was teaching a cultural story that she had been exposed to and believed, and then it got passed on. And then, once you understand whatever people have a story, then we as individuals process new facts according to that story. When we are presented new facts, we process the facts based on the pre-existing story that we already understand about how the world operates. And so, since we want to learn to be persuasive, and since we know that we understand the world through stories, I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to tell a story on how it came to be that large transnational corporations are not just exercising power today. I'm going to tell a story on how it came to be that large transnational corporations are ruling us. As surely as masters once ruled slaves, as surely as kings once ruled subjects, unelected and unaccountable corporate CEOs are ruling us because they are making the fundamental public policy decisions that affect all of our lives. Corporate CEOs already decided what your transportation choices are going to be. Corporate CEOs have gotten together and basically decided the energy policy of this country. Corporate CEOs have decided how much health care is going to be available to you, or for many of us, how much is not going to be available to us, even if we are sick, injured, or dying. Corporate CEOs decided whether to send this country to war or not. And we, the people, are left to choose between paper or plastic at the grocery store. We get to choose between Coke or Pepsi. We can have 31 flavors of ice cream, 17 different types of toothpaste at any reasonably well-stocked department store in this country. And I want to be clear about this, folks. Those are consumer choices. And I'm not against consumer choices. I mean, I'm glad that there are, choices that can be made. But let's also flag this. You don't even get those consumer choices if you can't pay for them, which is